Well, buddy, I secured that land. Yeah, we're gonna keep it wild. I knew you'd appreciate that.
After years of living in near-total seclusion and letting the wilderness speak for him, legendary naturalist Eustace Conway has finally broken his silence. Known for his dedication to preserving traditional skills, homesteading, and his intense, almost mythical connection to the land, Conway has been a figure both admired and misunderstood. Fans and critics alike have speculated endlessly about his personal life, his philosophy, and the dramatic events that shaped his public persona. But until now, Eustace himself has rarely spoken publicly in any meaningful way. The announcement that Conway is speaking out again has sent ripples through the outdoor and environmental communities. For years, he allowed documentaries, interviews, and news coverage to frame his story, often letting his actions and lifestyle communicate what words could not. But this time, he is taking control of the narrative, revealing thoughts, emotions, and insights that could change the way people perceive his decades-long mission. Sources close to Conway say the naturalists' return to the public eye is prompted by more than just curiosity. It is a deliberate effort to clarify misunderstandings, defend his legacy, and share hard-earned wisdom about living sustainably in harmony with the land. The revelations are expected to touch on everything from the personal sacrifices he has endured to the challenges of modern environmental activism, and even the controversies that have surrounded him over the years. For admirers of Eustace Conway, this is not just another interview. It is a rare opportunity to hear directly from a man whose life has been a bridge between ancient traditions and the modern world. After years of silence, the words he chooses now may very well reshape his legacy forever. For decades, Eustace Conway has been a figure shrouded in mystique, a modern-day frontiersman, educator and environmentalist whose life seems more myth than reality. Known for his dedication to preserving the skills and knowledge of early American homesteaders, Conway has inspired countless individuals through his work at Turtle Island Preserve and appearances in documentaries like The Last American Man. Yet, behind the rugged exterior and the public persona lies a man who, for years, has chosen silence over explanation, letting rumors, speculation, and controversy swirl around him. Conway's silence was not born from arrogance or avoidance. Those close to him describe it as a conscious choice, a way to protect both his personal life and the integrity of his mission. For years, the media portrayed him in extremes, either as a heroic conservationist or as a controversial eccentric. Conway, according to insiders, simply wanted his work with the land to speak for itself. Eustace is someone who believes in living deliberately, one associate told reporters. He doesn't feel the need to justify every choice or action to the world. The naturalist's retreat from the spotlight also coincided with deeply personal challenges. Managing Turtle Island Preserve was never an easy task. Maintaining the balance between conservation, education, and public interest required relentless effort. Conway faced financial pressures, legal disputes, and the constant scrutiny of those who questioned his methods or motivations. It is said that the stress of these challenges contributed to his decision to step back from frequent interviews, social media, and public appearances, choosing instead to focus on the land and his students. Moreover, Conway's silence allowed him to preserve the authenticity of his mission. In a world where media narratives often distort reality, he sought to ensure that the story of Turtle Island and the lessons of self-sufficiency, survival, and respect for nature remained untainted. By stepping back, Conway maintained control over his legacy, avoiding sensationalism and focusing on the enduring principles that have guided him since childhood. For fans and followers, this long silence only added to the allure of Conway as a character, the man who lived off the grid, endured hardships, and preserved ancient traditions, all while remaining largely enigmatic. Yet as much as the mystery captivated the public, it also left space for misconceptions. Rumors circulated about personal struggles, conflicts with staff, and financial instability, painting a picture that often diverged from reality. Now, with Conway speaking publicly again, there is a chance to set the record straight, to provide context, clarify decisions, and share insights that were previously unheard. Conway's return to the conversation is not merely about answering questions or defending his reputation. It is about reclaiming his voice, asserting the values he has lived by for decades, and reconnecting with a community eager to understand the man behind the myth. After years of silence, Eustace Conway is prepared to reveal truths that may surprise, inspire, and even challenge the way people perceive him, his work, and the timeless lessons of living in harmony with nature. Behind Eustace Conway's legendary reputation as a rugged outdoorsman and environmentalist lies a series of personal struggles that few people have ever witnessed. While the public often views him as a figure of unflinching strength and independence, those close to him know that his journey has been fraught with challenges, emotional, physical, and financial, that have shaped both his character and his approach to life. One of the most significant struggles Conway faced was the constant pressure of running Turtle Island Preserve. Maintaining a working homestead that serves as both an educational center and a conservation project is no small task. From dealing with natural disasters to ensuring the safety of visitors, every day presented new obstacles. While the media often highlighted his adventures and skills, little attention was given to the immense behind-the-scenes labor, long hours, and personal sacrifices required to keep the preserve running. Conway devoted himself fully to the project, often putting his own comfort, health, and personal life on hold to protect the vision he had created. In addition to professional pressures, Conway has contended with financial difficulties over the years. Operating a large preserve and maintaining traditional structures and land management practices is costly, and funding was not always consistent. At times, he faced lawsuits and bureaucratic hurdles that threatened both the preserve and his personal well-being. The stress of navigating these issues while remaining committed to his principles took a significant emotional toll, leading him to retreat from public appearances and media engagement for periods of time. Conway's personal life has also been marked by solitude and the weight of responsibility. Living so closely with nature and devoting his life to teaching survival skills and environmental stewardship often meant sacrifices in family and social connections. Those who knew him describe a man deeply committed to his mission but painfully aware of the costs, missed relationships, the difficulty of trusting others, and the loneliness that comes from being so singularly focused on a purpose larger than oneself. Physical challenges were another reality he faced. Life on a homestead and spending decades in rigorous outdoor conditions took a toll on his body. Injuries, fatigue, and the sheer physical demands of survival in remote areas compounded the mental and emotional pressures he already carried. For Conway, resilience was not just a trait, it was a necessity, one that had to be maintained even when the weight of these struggles felt overwhelming. Perhaps most impactful of all was the constant scrutiny from outsiders. Conway has always been a polarizing figure, admired for his authenticity yet criticized for his unconventional methods. Rumors and misunderstandings often painted him in a harsh light, creating emotional strain that compounded the physical and financial pressures he faced. His silence over the years was as much a protective measure as it was a personal choice, allowing him to focus on what truly mattered: the land, the students, and the principles he had spent a lifetime cultivating. Despite these struggles, Conway's dedication never wavered. Each challenge strengthened his resolve and deepened his understanding of what it means to live deliberately and in harmony with nature. By sharing these personal struggles now, he is giving the public a rare glimpse behind the carefully constructed image of the wilderness hero, revealing a man who has endured pain, uncertainty, and sacrifice to preserve not only a piece of the natural world, but also a legacy of knowledge for future generations. After years of silence, Eustace Conway is finally speaking out, and the revelations he shares are reshaping how the world sees him. What was once a life shrouded in mystery, filled with speculation, admiration, and controversy, is now being clarified directly by the man at the center of it all. These insights not only illuminate Conway's personal struggles, but also highlight the philosophy and dedication that have defined his life's work. One of the most striking revelations Conway shared is the emotional cost of living so closely with the land. While many imagine a life of freedom and serenity, he disclosed the immense discipline, isolation, and sacrifice required to maintain Turtle Island Preserve. "It's not all adventure," Conway explained in a rare interview. "There are days of exhaustion, worry, and doubt. You face storms, injuries, and setbacks, and sometimes the only thing keeping you going is your commitment to the land and the lessons it teaches." For fans accustomed to viewing him as an invincible frontiersman, this admission offers a profoundly human perspective on resilience. Another revelation concerns the misconceptions that have surrounded his personal life. For years, rumors about disputes, financial difficulties, and strained relationships circulated in the media. Conway finally addressed these directly, emphasizing that much of what was reported was incomplete or misleading. His clarification reveals a man who has navigated extraordinary challenges with integrity, often protecting those around him from unnecessary scrutiny. "I've made mistakes," he admitted, "but I've always acted with purpose and respect for the people and the land that matter most." Perhaps most transformative is Conway's discussion of his teaching philosophy. Beyond survival skills and environmental stewardship, he revealed that his ultimate goal has always been to inspire self-reliance, ethical responsibility, and a deep connection to the natural world. "I don't just want people to survive in the wilderness," he said. "I want them to understand their place in it, to respect it, and to carry those lessons into the wider world." This perspective reframes his past actions not as eccentric or extreme, but as deeply intentional and educational. Conway also shared reflections on the importance of balance. He admitted that his singular focus on Turtle Island Preserve sometimes came at the expense of personal relationships, but he maintains that every sacrifice was part of a larger mission to preserve knowledge, culture, and a way of life that is vanishing in modern society. "You can't be everything to everyone," he explained, "but you can give everything to the things that truly matter." This insight gives fans and followers a rare window into the mindset of a man who has lived deliberately and uncompromisingly. The impact of these revelations is already being felt. Media outlets are revising previous narratives, while students and admirers gain a deeper understanding of Conway's motivations. Social media discussions reflect a newfound empathy, as people recognize the humanity behind the legend. For decades, the public has projected myths onto Conway. Now, the man himself is reclaiming the narrative, offering clarity, honesty, and wisdom. Ultimately, these revelations transform Conway from a figure of speculation into a fully realized human being. They show that his life, while extraordinary, has been shaped by the same struggles, sacrifices, and ethical considerations that all people encounter. By speaking out after years of silence, Eustace Conway not only changes the story of his own life, but also provides a powerful lesson about the value of perseverance, authenticity, and the courage to live in alignment with one's principles, no matter how misunderstood they may be. Eustace Conway has begun to speak openly about the legacy he hopes to leave behind. For many, Conway is simply the rugged outdoorsman, the larger-than-life figure surviving off the land. But to him, his true mission has always been much deeper. It is not just about survival skills or wilderness adventure. It is about passing down values, knowledge, and a philosophy of life that he fears could vanish in the modern world. Conway emphasizes that Turtle Island Preserve is more than just a homestead. It is a living classroom, a repository of ancestral skills and ecological understanding. Over the years, he has trained countless students, sharing lessons in fire building, foraging, hunting, and sustainability, but also in patience, resilience, and ethical responsibility. "The land teaches you more than any book or lecture ever could," Conway explains. "It teaches respect, humility, and the consequences of your actions. That's what I want people to carry forward." For him, the ultimate legacy is not fame or recognition, but the enduring impact of these lessons on the generations who follow. He also reflects on the personal sacrifices that have enabled his mission. Conway admits that in dedicating himself fully to Turtle Island, he has missed opportunities for personal comfort, leisure, and even close relationships. Yet, He frames these sacrifices not as regrets, but as necessary commitments to a higher purpose. Life is short, he says. I could have lived comfortably, but I wanted to live meaningfully. His words underscore the profound intentionality behind every choice, showing that his life has been guided by principle rather than convenience. Another key aspect of his legacy is the example of living in harmony with nature. In a world increasingly disconnected from the environment, Conway hopes to inspire a renewed awareness of humanity's place in the ecosystem. He warns that the lessons he teaches are not just skills for survival, they are a blueprint for sustainable living and a call to stewardship. The earth is not ours to conquer, he reminds students and followers alike. It is ours to care for, to respect, and to leave better than we found it. This philosophy, rooted in both tradition and ethics, is perhaps the most enduring gift he can offer. Conway also wants to ensure that his story, complete, authentic, and unfiltered, is preserved. After years of media distortion, he seeks to control the narrative, allowing future generations to understand the man behind the myth. By speaking openly now, he provides context, insight, and clarity, transforming a life once clouded by speculation into a story of perseverance, vision, and integrity. Ultimately, the legacy Eustace Conway hopes to leave is one of empowerment. He wants people to face challenges head-on, to live intentionally, and to respect the world around them. His life may have been unconventional, full of hardship, and often misunderstood, but the lessons he imparts are universal: resilience, ethical responsibility, and harmony with nature. In sharing his experiences and finally breaking decades of silence, Conway ensures that his work will endure, influencing not just those who visit Turtle Island Preserve, but countless others inspired to live deliberately and honorably in a world that too often forgets the value of the natural and the timeless.